Hello, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and welcome to my first Chit Chat Get Ready with me. So in today's video, we're gonna be jumping right into the topic of how I became that woman and discussing a little bit about my personal journey. And I hope that some of the information that I share can be really helpful for you as well if you're kind of in that transition phase, like you've been working to become that girl and now you're ready to elevate and take it to the next level of becoming that woman. So please join me for this super fun, super simple Chit Chat Get Ready with me. I am actually preparing to lead a meeting for work, and then I'm gonna be filming another YouTube video a little bit later today. So I figured why not get ready together and get into some girl chat. So the first thing that I did in my journey to becoming that woman is be very selective about my energy. And I feel like that includes quite a few different things. So for one, definitely what I'm consuming was extremely important to me. So that included literally everything, like what was on my social media feed, podcasts I was listening to, movies I watched, music I listened to, YouTube channels that I'm subscribed to. I just really wanted to make sure that everything was truly like helping me elevate and bring me to the next level, and also like just surrounding myself with peace. And that was extremely important as well, like in the people that I surrounded myself with. So not necessarily people who I chose to be around, but sometimes people who you feel like you have to be around, kind of managing like how to balance that relationship and set those boundaries has been extremely helpful, because I don't have to worry about not having that peace in my life. And I'm gonna go into more detail about that a little bit later in this video as well. The next thing that helped me to make this transition was definitely realizing that I had to prioritize rest over socializing. And I feel like that was hard because I don't necessarily think that I was a people pleaser, but I was definitely like, I don't want to hurt people's feelings. Or maybe if they're not in like a similar position as I am, I don't want them to feel like, oh, I just think that I'm like so great and special and that I'm better than everyone else and can't put forth the effort to like even spend time with you. But I had to learn, like, if people truly care about you, then they're not gonna think of you in that way. And if they do, then you know what, they don't know me anyways, and they're not someone who's like actually a true friend and anyone that I need to have like in my close inner circle. And so if they're becoming offended and really feeling like, oh my gosh, you're Xing me out, then it's like, you don't know me. Like, I'm not gonna X you out intentionally. I need to rest. Like, I have to pour back into myself at some point. And realizing that was so important and so helpful for me on this journey of becoming that woman, because I was able to just kind of sit in who I was, have time to regroup, to refresh, to regather my thoughts and figure out what I wanted to do next. Another thing that I've done along this journey is diversified my choices of recreation. This is actually, I don't even think I've told anyone this. I used to go like bowling a lot. I don't like bowling, like at all. But I just felt like it was an easy way to like hang out with a bunch of people at one time. And I don't know, I would just always say yes and I would go bowling. And then, not that I'll never go bowling again, but it's definitely not gonna be like a regular part of my routine, if that makes sense. So yes, I don't mind bowling, but it was really just a way for me to be like, oh, let me hang out with all these people because I have so much going on. But like the act of bowling, not really something that I want to do per se. So yeah, that was definitely a random fact. But I'm just gonna use my viewfinder really quick to do my brows. So I may be looking a little lopsided, but I wanna make sure that these don't look lopsided. So yeah, like now I'm just like, you know what? I love a good brunch. I love going for a nice walk, going to art galleries, fashion shows. Eating is obviously always going to be one of my favorite pastimes. But like going to have wine and charcuterie and just like having slower activities going on is something that I really enjoy. And also like working out. Like if you wanna go to Pilates, let's go to Pilates. Like I really enjoy kind of just taking care of myself and choosing to do recreational things that are gonna lend itself to that. And actually my husband and I were saying this year that we definitely wanted to like get more into art and things like that. So we went to some really great sculpture museums on our last trip and just really kind of elevating and diversifying the things that we do and consider fun. So the next thing that I did to become that woman was to really take control of my spending habits. It was just like so easy for me to be like, oh, let me grab this or that. Like I may need it at some point, but also like why? And I was also in a bad habit of like, oh, if I'm out, instead of like going back home to get something, I'll just go buy another one. Don't do that. There's no need to be just like spending money frivolously. Definitely try your best to save, because opportunities can come up, like chances to have amazing experiences or to travel. And like I didn't want to not be able to do those things because I had like wasted so much money on other things that were not really even important. And this is like really connected to the next thing I wanted to talk about as well, was kind of building my personal style. I stopped buying things just because they were like on sale, like clothing, shoes, or like maybe I could use this at some point. It doesn't make sense. Like I really sat down and figured out what I wanted my personal style to be. And now when I do shop, I focus on finding things that fit my personal style, that I can wear to multiple things and that truly bring me joy. So I don't just have like all of this random stuff, a closet full of things that are just sitting there collecting dust. Oh, and shoes, this is a side note. Listen, I love a red bottom. It's so cute. You've seen me in several red bottoms. I made a whole video about buying used and then kind of like refurbishing them. Most of them, I can't walk in them. So I'm not going to continue to purchase shoes that I can't walk in. I'm just using red bottoms as an example, but any shoe that's extremely uncomfortable, like I'm not gonna waste my money on that. The purpose of a shoe is to be able to protect your feet while you walk. So why am I gonna buy something that doesn't, like, you know, you get the idea. So I still love a cute shoe, but I definitely now make sure that it's functional as well as cute. It's not just for sitting and being pretty. Also, this I feel like is definitely the most important part of what I did to become that woman, and that was really prioritizing my health. And I feel like I prioritize my health internally and externally as well. Also, this is the new Pink Lily. It's like a dual-sided lipstick and liner in Peachy Please. I love how this color looks, but I use a NYX liner for the darker, like brown outline. But yeah, like I started paying attention to what I was putting in my body, reducing the amount of preservatives that I ate, making sure that I was focusing on whole foods. I didn't really drink a lot of soda before because it would make my skin break out anyways. But even with that, like not a ton of juices that contain a lot of extra sugars or things like that. So now like I love a probiotic drink, and other than that, if I'm not drinking wine, I'm probably just drinking water. And I feel like it has helped me so much. I'm trying to be so much better about my vitamin routine and just making sure that I am putting forth the effort to put good into my body every single day. And then externally as well, I think I've talked about this on the channel before, but I actually used to have really bad skin. Hold on, let's spray the face. So yeah, before the pandemic, I actually had terrible skin and I hated it. It was one of those things that didn't just go away when I became an adult. But since I was able to like find natural products that really worked for me and also focus on prioritizing what I'm putting inside my body and doing outside my body, it made a huge change. And so I'm not saying like to become that woman, you have to have perfect skin or anything like that, but like definitely take the time to invest in routines that make you feel healthy from the inside out. And that is going to show through your skin, through your hair, basically just through everything. And it was so worth it for me to put forth that effort. And I just feel like really great about the fact that I've gotten my skin and my hair like to this healthy place because of the work that I was able to put in. And lastly, I became that woman by letting go of anything that does not serve me anymore, whether that's a job, people, definitely setting up boundaries was extremely helpful for me during this transitional period. And like I mentioned earlier, I was kind of like in this place where I was worried about hurting people's feelings. But in order for me to transition into being that woman and to like really elevate, I had to let go of that. You know, of course, I'm not just gonna be mean and like make decisions to hurt people's feelings intentionally. But if someone is sensitive about something that I don't have any control over, then there's nothing that I can do about that. There's nothing you can do or say to change someone's mind once they have kind of adopted this perception of you. All you can do is continue to try to be the best version of yourself, to lead with kindness, to lead with empathy, but also like taking a moment to like really just check in with yourself and take stock of where you are and what you want and the kind of boundaries that you may need to set up. And like I mentioned earlier as well, people who love you and respect you are going to be on board with your boundaries. They are going to be so happy for all the new amazing things that are happening in your life without being jealous and without trying to like throw light shade or like rain on your parade without you really noticing. But you're like, no, I see you, and I made a choice to not allow that in my life anymore. And you know what? I love that for me. I feel like once I got to a place where I was like, no, like I am a fully competent person who's able to make decisions that are tactful and thoughtful, but yet are gonna be the best decisions that are gonna benefit me. And I have so many amazing people in my life who support me even through what may feel like, oh, this is a lot of change at once. Especially like I always think about this with my career, like so many people were like, oh my gosh, you're abandoning teaching. It's such a safe profession. Like you're always gonna have a job. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't wanna do something just because it's convenient or it's necessarily safe. I know myself and I know that I can bet on myself. And so I completely shifted industries, and I also started content creation at the same time, and I didn't look back, and it has just been so great. It's brought me so much joy and so much fulfillment knowing that I can continually work to create and elevate a life that I truly love without having negative opinions, even though those opinions may have been well-intended. Some of them maybe not, but some of them of course were. I had to realize, you know what, I need to let that go. I know what I want in life, and I know what I need to do in order to work toward that, and I'm so glad that that's the decision that I made. So I feel like I have definitely entered my That Woman era, and I love it here. So if you are trying to enter your That Woman era as well, I hope some of the things that I shared in this video were extremely helpful for you. I am pretty much done getting ready, just gonna pop on my earrings and my jewelry, so you will see the final fit in an upcoming YouTube video. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram at Affirmations with Amber.